Hello everyone, welcome back to Virtual Board by Vishal Bajpayee. In today's video, we are going to talk about an essential performance optimization technique in Angular, debouncing. Have you ever noticed that when you type in a search bar, API calls are triggered for every single keystroke? This can slow down your application and overload the server. Debouncing helps solve this problem by limiting the number of calls made within a short time frame. I'll explain what debouncing is and show you how to implement it practically in an Angular application. Let's get started. Debouncing is a programming technique that delays the execution of a function until after a certain period of inactivity. For example, if you are typing in a search bar, instead of making an API call after each keystroke, we wait for the user to stop typing for a certain duration, say 1000 milliseconds. Only then do we trigger the API request. This improves efficiency and enhance user experience. So this is an application, Angular application that has a search field, and I have not implemented debouncing here. Okay, so this is without implementation of debouncing. So here if you will type anything, let's say if I type YouTube, you will see for every single keystroke there is an API call. Even though I want to search for the term YouTube, I'm still getting API calls for a single every single character, and this reduces the performance of the application and puts load on server, and this is not a good technique. This is the function on search function which is getting called on every keystroke. This function is invoked, and here we are just saying that if there is nothing, then put an empty array in results, and if there is something, if you type anything here, let's say vi, that should go into the search term, and that search term is passed in this API call, and we are simply calling this API and storing the response in results array, and that is what displayed on the HTML. Okay, now similar application with the debouncing implemented here. So if we try to search anything here, let's see if I type YouTube, so you can see there is some delay. Okay, let me try again. If I type YouTube, you will see there is only one API call at the end when user stops typing, but in our previous case we have an API call for every single keystroke. So this is the better approach. This is how we can optimize the performance of an application, reduce load on the server, and only make the necessary API calls. So how we have implemented this, let's dive in. So this also have the similar HTML that we have in the our previous this application. Okay, we are just using the same function and the results dot length, we are just iterating over that results array, and we are displaying the results here on the HTML. Now the main thing is in the TS file. Let me just close this network tab, maximize this. Okay, so this is the code for it. I will show you how can we achieve this similar thing, because I will remove the existing code from here. Okay, this is the same results array. Okay, this is the same results array. Now what I'll do, I will create a subject. So I will name it search subject. Subject is the type of observable. We will write new subject, and that will be of type string. Okay, now what is the function? On search function. So we will write on search. First of all, what we'll do, we'll try to get our search term. Event dot target as HTML input element. We'll put this in a bracket. Dot value dot trim. This will give us what is it saying? Okay, this will give us the value that is required. Now what we'll do, we have already created a subject. So once a user types something and he updates uh, his search, then the updated message or updated search term should get passed into the subject. So what we'll do, we will do this dot search subject dot next, and we'll pass search term. Just write constructor private search service type search service. Okay, we'll also have to pass here event. So this is the reason why we were getting the error. Okay, now what we'll do, there should be a function which should get called every time user updates the search term here. So we will create a function and that function will have debouncing implemented in it. So what we'll do, we will create a function and we will name it setup search debounce, and what we'll do, this dot search subject dot, and we will use pipe operator. Pipe operator is used to combine two or three other RxJS operators, okay, or RxJS functions. So to implement debounce, what we use, there is a function we can say called debounceTime. Okay, debounce time. So this is the function, and inside this function what we do, we pass basically how much delay we want to add. So let's say for now, so ideally we enter a delay of about 300 milliseconds to 500 milliseconds, but to demonstrate in this video the delay, I'm adding delay of 1000 seconds. Okay, then we will use another RxJS operator or function called distinct until change. So this function is useful when we do not want to make two API calls for the same input. Okay, I will also show you in once we are done with the coding, I will show you what is the use of distinct until changed. Now I'll close this, and what I'll do now, I'll subscribe to the changes dot subscribe. So we'll subscribe to the changes and then write search term, whatever our new search term is. If search term dot length, if we have something in search term, then what we'll do, we will make an API call. Okay, and if we do not have anything in search, then what we'll do, else this dot results equals to blank array. Okay, so here we will write the code for the API call. So let's first call a function from which we will make an API call. So let's say the function name is fetch results. This is our function, and this will basically accept search query or search term as a parameter, whatever we want to search. So now what we will do, this dot search service dot fetch results, and what we will do, we will pass here search query, and now we'll subscribe to this. Subscribe response this dot results equals to, we will, whatever we will get in response, we will store it in the results array. Now we'll replace here, what we will do, if search term dot length, we will write this dot fetch results, and we will pass search term here. Okay, so that's all we need to do. What we have done, okay, we need to do one more thing. Okay, so we have created this function. So this function listens every time the input changes. Okay, so we also need to invoke it for the very first time. So what we'll do, we will use ng on init lifecycle hook, ng on init. What we'll do, this dot setup search debounce. Okay, so this was pretty much what we needed to do here. Now let's, okay, we are missing something on 38. Okay, this was an extra bracket. Okay, so we are pretty much done with everything. What we have done here, we have made an API call. Okay, this function is basically used to make the API call or pass the search parameter to the service, and here we are just this on search function is getting called every time user types anything, and then we are just subscribing to every new input, and we are adding debouncing using this function. Okay, so that was pretty much. Now let's test it. What we'll do, Let me open the network tab. Now if I type anything, if I type virtual board, you will see there will be a delay of 1 second and then there is an API call. So that's how it works. Okay, if you want to change this time according to your need, what you need to do, you just need to update this to 300 ms. Now this always takes time in milliseconds. Okay, so now the results will get updated in 300 milliseconds. So let's say if I type Aston, see, if I type Martin, so the results are getting updated in 300 milliseconds, not on every keystroke. See, I typed ASTON and I waited for 300 milliseconds, then only there is an API call. But using the traditional way or the previous application, if I type Aston, there will be ASTON 5 API calls. See, you can see the number of API calls. In this case, I will type ASTON, you can see the difference. And about distinct until changed, so what does this distinct until change do? Distinct until changed only emit when the current value is different from the last. So see the practical example here. If I here I have typed YOUTUBE, there will be an API call. But if I remove something and again type BE, there will be no API call this time, because this is similar to the last emitted value. So this is the use case of distinct until change. And that's how you implement debouncing in Angular. This is especially useful in search bars, live filters, and form validations. If you found this video helpful, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to Virtual Board by Vishal Bajpayee. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions or if you like me to cover another topic. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.